I'll finally start introducing this extremely cool tool that I'm working on for quite some time now, which is called TTMT, or Telegram to MetaTrader. This is a cutting-edge revolutionary tool to copy signals from Telegram to MetaTrader, as the name says it. The main problem that I was facing when I've started working on TTMT some 2 years ago is that there were not proper tools on the market. I mean, there were tools which are capable of parsing signals from Telegram and then executing the signals on MetaTrader on some quality level. But I was far from satisfied with the results, and there was no trade management. Break-even was failing in many cases, and most importantly, none of the tools were supporting layering, which means that you're placing multiple entries within an entry range. So that's why I've started developing TTMT purely for myself. I didn't intend to put it out on the market. But then I've slowly realized that if it creates value for me, it can create value for you guys as well. So let's get to it right now. This is a quick walkthrough video. I'm gonna show you all the pages and settings in my account. And then after the video, I will open 100 new slots so you can register and sign up, because previously TTMT was in a closed beta. Some 50 early adopters, very cool girls and boys, tried using the software, squeezed out every bit of feature and settings from it. Some of them were on demo accounts, some of them are on prop firm and live accounts. And I like to say here as well, thank you so much, guys. It really meant a great deal for me that such a strong, cool and helpful community built around TTMT from the very start. This is something that really helped me make this tool revolutionary and cool. All right, so let me switch over to the dashboard now, and then we'll go through every possible settings and page. Markets are closed today, unfortunately. So today's P&L shows a gray number instead of a green number. However, this is the dashboard. This is where you technically land right after you open TTMT. You can see your balance at a glance to today's P&L. Some basic stats about the total profitability, the number of trades, your win rate, and then a very well-known calendar which shows the trades that your account was making on your behalf. All right, let's move over. Let's start with the trading config, since this is the most important and interesting part, and then I'll show you around in the trade log, in the statistics pages, and the signal settings. But this is what I'm the proudest of. It's very simple to consume, very simple to understand. You have 4 pages: position sizing, risk limits, entries and targets, and trade management. Position sizing is pretty simple. This is what your trade consumes when it's placed. Risk limits are some very similar features what most of the prop firms are using, so you might be very well familiar with it. You can technically set a daily loss limit and a daily profit target, a percentage of your equity or a fixed dollar amount, and then TTMT will halt trading for the rest of the day when these targets are met. And also you have a nice little indicator in the top showing where you are exactly in the process of the limits. Entries and targets. This is the most important part. You can modify entry strategy, take profits, stop loss, asset overrides, and signal quality here. I'll show you around. So entry strategy, you can either use a single entry, one layer. Obviously, there could be multiple orders and positions within that layer, but technically your trade sits at one price. And then the cool thing is that you can adjust the number of layers up to 6 layers, and then you can select how you would like to distribute the total lot size of that trade across the layers. So this is the entry strategy. You either distribute it evenly, front load it, so more on the top layer, less on the bottom layer, or you can use the martingale strategy, which does not show, technically does not doubling the lot size in every layer, but it's a growing lot size. This layering technique is something that most of the signal providers, especially those who are trading gold, are used, and this is the single most important feature of TTMT. So far, TTMT is the only tool that supports this, and I can tell you it was quite challenging to develop, because placing multiple positions, attaching to a single trade, setting break even on these positions, tracking the positions, making sure that within the layer the take profits are also properly assigned based on the take profit strategy. Quite challenging from an engineering point of view, but here we are. I've made it, so I'm happy to show you. Entry zone size. It's important to emphasize that there are the signals, obviously, with the entry zone, the take profits, the stop loss levels, and then there are your settings. And you can override plenty of stuff within TTMT, and you can tell the system to do not follow the signal, but rather use your own values. And TTMT can also enter the trade on an alert signal, which is usually something like gold buy now, which does not have an entry range, which does not have a take profit level, stop loss level. So entry zone means that it can be either dynamic or fixed. So you set your stop loss distance, and then you want to set the entry zone between the entry and the stop loss. However, what's another cool thing is the trade preview here. So whatever you do with the settings, it's immediately represented in a so-called emulator or a demo, which technically shows how your trade would look like if it would be executed. So you can see the number of entries in a single layer, the stop loss distance, the take profit levels. It also calculates you a maximum stop loss if all the layers are filled, or the best case scenario if all take profits are hit. And then you can also see how your order structure would look like. So it's a very powerful tool. I anticipate each of you to make the configurations for your system using trade preview as well. Take profit configuration. Oh, tiny little detail. Entry zone expansion. Some users had issues with not triggering trades because of spreads. So technically, price reached the entry level, but it was the trade didn't trigger because it was missing just a few pips. So you can expand your entry zone no matter the signal, no matter what the signal says. Take profit configuration. We have three strategies here: progressive, balanced, and extended. It's how you allocate the volume across the take profits. Progressive sells more on TP1 and earlier TPs. Balanced try to distribute the volume across all take profits evenly, and then extended tries to allocate more on the top. It's more risky, but more rewarding, of course. Active take profit levels, you can either keep the signal settings, or you can select and use up to 6 take profits. Of course, using many layers and many take profits needs a minimum amount of volume within the trade. The system of course warns you that, for example, if I would like to choose the martingale strategy with 0.19 lots, it cannot properly execute, and there won't be enough orders within my trade. The trade will execute. The system has so many safeguards and security measurements implemented, so it will execute. It just won't be able to use the full power of the martingale strategy. Stop loss configuration, very simple thing. You place your stop loss from X pips from entry. And then advanced SL settings. In many cases, there are simply wrong values or misplaced stop losses or typos within the signal values. Since there is an AI engine, a fine-tuned, to be more specific, a fine-tuned OpenAI model is working under the hood, which was trained on thousands of signals and modification signals and non-actionable messages. The system can easily spot if something's wrong with the signal, and then you will have your own decision about these cases. What would you like TTMT to do if it spots an issue with the signal? Since we are not just trading gold, but we are trading many different assets, you can and since the pip size, the volatility, and the signal types for different assets can be very different, you can have a per asset risk override, which means the system will use like 0.1 lots for metals, but 0.05 lots for currencies, for example. Here you can select how to override the signal values, so you can have your own entry zone, you can have your own stop loss, you can have your own take profit. And then again, signal quality and safety tells the system that if some extremities within the signal or some weird typos, then the system tries to correct these extremities, or it can simply reject the signal values, or you can also say that, hey TTMT, I trust my signal vendor, trust the values. And how the system thinks that a value is an extremity, very simple. It's an RR threshold. So if an RR is like extremely low take profits compared to the SL, then the system will think, oh, all right, there is something wrong with the signal here. So these are the settings in terms of the entries and targets, and then there's the trade management. So now up until here we made the settings prior execution, right? So this is everything what helps the system to decide how the orders should be allocated, take profits, stop loss. All right, trade is executed. Now we are in the trade. We want to manage it, right? There are follow-up signals in the signal channel telling you to set break even, telling you to adjust the stop loss or close partials. Well, this is the place in TTMT to make sure that that everything happens as per your own strategy, because the system can and follows all these modification signals, but you can have your own settings as well. For example, you can make sure that it sets break even on TP2. You can make sure that break even doesn't mean that stop loss sits exactly on the entry, but it sits slightly above the entry for a long, so you're covering spreads, you're covering commission. You can also tell the system that if a signal channel sends a break-even command, should it follow that break-even command. Also, there is a trailing stop-loss function. I'm still kind of working on it. It needs some other settings to be aligned, but it works in specific occasions. Trailing stop-loss means that stop-loss automatically follows price, as price moving up or moving down if it's a long or a short. So when there is a retracement, you're way above break even now. So if trade closes, then it will be you're going to be in the profits no matter. In many occasions, if break even can't be set, because when the signal channel sends you a message to set break even, price is so volatile and moving so fast that it's already below your entries. What to do in this occasion? You either keep your original stop loss, you either tell the system to try to adjust stop loss progressively, that okay, we cannot place the stop loss slightly above entries, now try a little bit further down there, even further, and it tries to move the stop loss progressively until it finds a spot where it can place. The trade's gonna be a loser, but it's not gonna be a big loser. Or you can tell the system to close the position immediately if price is already below entries when the break-even signal arrived. Order management, TP redistribution. This is some very important thing. It's one of the core functions of the system. I'll explain you in a moment. You have multiple entries, but when you open the trade, all of your positions are in the layer 1. When price is retracing and approaching layer 2, you can see here in the preview, approaching layer 2, those orders will be filled and will become positions as well. What happens with the take profit? You had a specific take profit allocation only on the layer 1, but once you are in the layer 2, you are in the trade with more positions, with a bigger lot size. You want to make sure that the system follows your take profit configuration, that it has to place the positions evenly across the take profits. So what the system does is that it reorders the take profits across all filled orders, all positions, to meet the take profit criteria. This is what's responsible for that. Also, you can make sure that the system cancels unfilled orders or pending orders when a take profit is hit. It's similar to break even, and you can also tell the system when it should do this. Signal updates, auto update stop loss, auto update take profit when there is a signal about move your stop loss to a specific price or change your TP level. Auto closures, close half of your trade, exit now, I am out from the trade right now. These are all responsible for that, and you can tell the system to either follow these signals or simply ignore these signals. You can also choose a partial take profit strategy, which means when the signal tells you to sell 50% of the trade, what should it mean for TTMT? Close the worst performing positions first, only close positions that are currently in profit, or proportional, which means that you want to also close from the profitable positions and from the losing positions as well. There is fast move handling. Sometimes we are still in the process of placing the trade, placing the positions. When price is already above TP1, you can tell the system what it should do when something like this happens. And then, of course, TTMT is recognizing if you modify something within your trade from your MetaTrader terminal, from mobile. You can do this, of course. You can tell TTMT whether it should respect for example, if you move the stop loss, or it should restore the original stop loss value, or when a follow-up signal arrives, it should use the new value. Trading hours. All right, this is some very cool feature. You can tell the system to only execute trades in specific time ranges, specific sessions, for example, or specific days. Maybe you don't want to execute trades on a Monday, or execute trades when there is a red folder day. So you can use this feature to make sure TTMT only works when you want it to work. All right, so these are the settings, and then right from here we jump to config profiles. What it means, you can, these are the global settings, but when you go to config profiles, you can create or recreate a set of settings from the same list and same possibilities, but then change these as a so-called config profile, and then assign these settings to a specific channel. Let's say I'm now assigning these settings to Guildstone Traders, which is a very cool channel and supported by TTMT. From now on, if Guildstone sends a signal and TTMT executes the signal, it's not going to use the global settings in my account, but rather the settings. Reasons: some signal channels are sending layered entries, some signal channels are sending just a single entry. You want to size more on a specific channels trades and size less on some other channels trades. There are TTMT users who are experimenting with dozens of signal provider channels and also dozens of config profiles. These are technically trading strategies, and I want to underline one thing here. TTMT is a very powerful tool, but it's not an autopilot tool. It's not something that you sign up for, get on board, push the big green button, and then it will work for you. You have to experiment with it. You have to find the right strategy for the right signal provider. And once you invest some attention and time and focus, and you learn to use the tool, this is going to be a very, very powerful weapon in your hand on the battlefield of the markets. So this is config profiles. I don't want to get very deep under it because it's technically the same same settings as the global settings. You can also share a config profile with other users. There is a free market of config profiles within the TTMT community chat already. So this is what you can do with it. All right, channels. Let's move over to here. Let's check. Keep it with Guildstone for now. I will show you how the channel settings work. One very important and cool thing, TTMT is not just for a single MetaTrader account. You can have technically an infinite number of MetaTrader accounts. What I'm doing with my account is that I'm experimenting with new channels, new settings on a demo account, and then once there is a polished strategy with a verified and valid signal channel, and I can execute the signals on my live account then. So you can set to execute a signal channel only on a specific account. Execution mode. We have the alert mode and the full signal mode. Very simple. When a signal channel sends gold buy now, the system executes immediately with your settings, or only execute a signal if it contains an entry zone, a stop loss, take profit. Some channels tend to send these alert messages prior hand the full signal, and some other channels are only sending these full signal types of messages. You can see that in the channel setting I can select the config profile. Default symbol, some channels are only sending messages like buy now, or like what the hell do I'm buying now? But then that specific channel only sends out gold signals, right? So you can set the default signal here. Symbols, these are the symbols that you want the channel to execute. Maybe a specific channel sends out signals in like some 10 assets, but you want to avoid the Bitcoin trades, right? So you can do it here in the symbols list. This is automatically identified and mapped by the system, by the way. So if a channel only sends out gold signals, then you will not see anything else here. Stop loss and take profit values, these are the default values that you want to use when the channel only sends out an alert signal. Hours, you cannot just set it globally, but you can also tell the system to only execute the signals from this specific channel within a specific time range. Okay, so you can do it on a global level, you can do it on a channel level, and you can do it on a MetaTrader account level. So it's a very flexible and cool system that you can work with. All right, so let's go to performance. This is my best and favorite screen. I like to watch it from time to time for some peaceful moments. This is your total balance, your total profit and loss, win rate, basic stats about your trades, and the important thing is that you can filter it to channels. I now filtered it to Gilstone traders. You can see the total profit and loss, the win rate, the daily cumulative P&L, and then you can also see a nice calendar of the executed trades here. So it is what it is, a cool performance page where you can watch your trades, where you can dig deeper within the signals and the executions, and the trade log is the place for that. You can see all your executed trades here with some very detailed stats. Now we are on the full mode, but you can also filter it to execution related data only, or capital and risk data, but let's keep it with the full. You can see all different kinds of data here, like the number of layers, the number of take profits, the planned risk, then the actual risk, what the place used for execution. So let's open this trade here. What you see is an overview, entry price, stop loss, volume, take profit levels, and then my favorite. This is since TTMT makes a lot of decisions on your behalf within your account. There are lots of cases when you want to understand a bit more, like what happened, why the system set to break even, why my take profit wasn't adjusted. You want to understand that. So in the journey tab, you can see all the decisions that the system made. You can see here we are adjusting take profits. You can see that the layer 2 orders are getting filled in this trade right now. New positions are opened, and then if we go deeper, so a new signal is detected here. Adjust SL, right? So this is something that the system identified, and then SL validated and changed. and then break-even processing, break-even applied. So you can just walk through the whole journey of a trade or trade life cycle from signal to execution. And another cool thing is that there is this explain function which takes some time to execute, but it's using TTMT's AI model to generate an explanation, a narrative explanation for you about the key decisions of the system, what happened, what was kind of non-standard, and why, what were the settings. So this is so far the favorite part of the app for now. But let's move over to orders and positions. Here you can see the unique positions within the trade. As you can see, we have 2 layers for this trade, and then like I think like 5 or 6 orders or positions within each layer. And the settings, this is just a snapshot. Since you are using multiple config profiles or you are changing settings from time to time, you want to make sure you understand what were the exact settings that the trade used for execution. So this is the snapshot of the settings that were used when the execution happened. What were the take profit and stop loss values, how the system was told to set break even, from which take profit levels, etc., etc. And then you can also go to the settings from right from here. But if a config profile is applied to this channel, then you can go to the config profile. So this is the trade log. You can also select and export your trades to a CSV. Some power users are doing their own research and examining the executions, the data within a Google Sheet or an Excel sheet. This is the feature for that. Position log and signal log is technically the same. It's a list of entries that TTMT used for execution. Signal log is using this kind of a parent-child structure when there is a parent entry with the original initiator signal. In this case, let scalping sell gold slowly, and then we can see that a follow-up message arrived with the exact data, and then probably a break-even message as well. It's time to close some profit, move your asset to entry stage sharp. You can see this is pure Homo sapiens language, and the system properly identified it as a set break-even and a partial close signal. All right, what else we have here? We have a live view, which I won't be able to show you right now because markets are closed. But once a trade is executed, all the positions are shown here in real time. You can set break-even manually. You can close unique positions from a specific trade. But most importantly, you can watch what happens in your account right here. All right, signal tester. It's a cool thing. You can test the outcome, potential outcome of a signal when you want to start experimenting with a new channel. You go to your signal channel, copy one of the signals from the channel. I'm gonna use a very simple signal right now, but you can test it with all different kinds of signals. And you can, once you click on test, you can see how the system would work with this signal. So first of all, you can see a number of safety measurements, safety steps that the system is going through when identifying and parsing the signal. And then you can see how the system sets the different values, stop loss, take profit, entry zone, and volume values. How would it place the orders if a signal like this would come through and start executing it. Since TTMT is a very flexible and configurable tool, and you need to dedicate your time to find the right strategy. That's the main reason I've built all these testing features and parts of the system, so you have a deeper and better understanding of how the system works. Signal review. This is something that we are not using right now because the training progress is now over. But when there is an influx of channels with new signal formats, for example, that are somehow different than what we've seen before, then you have the opportunity to participate in the signal review process, where you basically tag and annotate the signal yourself, teaching the TTMT AI under the hood to have a better accuracy. MetaTrader and Telegram accounts, these are something that I don't want to spend time right now. These are pages where you can technically list your MetaTrader accounts and add new accounts. Also, Telegram is something that you connect on the onboarding. Explore. So TTMT, since it's a cloud service and it's running 24/7 with lots of user accounts, the coolest thing is that it has data, pure data about the quality of signals in the signal channels. Of course, there are users who are heavily over-risking. Of course, there are demo accounts and live accounts, and there are different settings. So I had to make sure that a signal channel library does not take those extremities into account, and is kind of showing the average or the median of a signal channel. But here is the place to check around and to find the right channel for you if you want to look for something else than what you're already following. So in an explore page, you can see the win rate, the profit factor, the max drawdown, and some daily P&L stats for a specific channel. And then you can, if it's a public channel, you can just simply click on the public channel link and you land straight in Telegram. Or if it's a paid channel or has some other rules before you can join, TTMT will help you with that as well. So this is the explore function. Symbols, symbol mapping, very important part of the system. All different kinds of brokers, all different kinds of broker accounts, different symbols. Same asset is gold, right? But then you have these XAUSD-M or Pro or dot or all these suffixes after the asset name. The system needs to know that this is the asset to trade gold on your broker account. So once you go through the onboarding process, the system automatically identifies the symbols within your broker account and then maps the symbols for you, as you can see it from here. So it's auto mapped. You can also add manual mappings here to make sure that the system is trading the right symbol, because sometimes there could be multiple similar symbols for the same asset, but it can be minis, micros, or full lots, or there can be other differences with the similar asset names. Here we are. This is the system. I hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough. I wanted to do this for a long time now, because I owe the community and the new users as well with this walkthrough. There is also a written documentation which I occasionally update. There are some new features which are not covered by the documentation, but you can also find the same structure and the same descriptions within that. You can find that on the website in the footer section. And well, if you have some questions right now, feel free to drop them in the comment field or in the Telegram to MetaTrader forum channel. I'll wait for a few moments, and if there are no questions, then I'm gonna close this stream and open the 100 slots for the users, for you guys to register. There are some 500, a little bit under 500 waitlisted people within the system. You subscribed since this January or last December in order to be able to start using this tool. Well, the day has come. Now is the time to squeeze out every bit of from the forex or the trading markets, if you are following a signal channel. All right, I can see there are no questions at the moment. I'm always present and accessible from within the TTMT channel, so feel free to drop me a line. But now I can see in the chat that that someone has a question, so I'm waiting for that. Feel free to drop your question in the chat so I can answer in the live stream while we are still online. Okay, so the question is about if you can import your own channel. Currently, I'm maintaining a library of verified and validated channels, which means that once you sign up and start the onboarding process, there is a window where you can see all the signal channels that you are a member of with your Telegram account. There is a great chance, since now it's over 150 channels that are already reviewed and approved from my side. There is a great chance that you will find some of the channels that you are following already approved, but you can also send a request for approval from the same window. Then I'll have to review, because there are lots of scammers outside who are doing these account management and all different kinds of scams. So I need to make sure that there are no scam channels become available within the TTMT ecosystem, and I also need to make sure that there is at least a minimum level of consistency in the signal format, because TTMT is very clever and the AI model is making fine decisions, but then if the channel doesn't provide a consistent syntax and grammar and wording for the signals, then TTMT can sometimes go crazy, and we don't want that. So these are the things that I'm checking, and I'm doing some initial settings like some average take profit and stop loss levels and the assets that the channel is trading. And once I reviewed, I enable and add the channel to the library, and you can start trading that right away. I plan to automate this whole process in the very near future because it's a lot of manual work for me as well, and most parts of it can be automated. So answering the question, currently there is no way you can simply start importing a channel that you are trading, but of course you can request it, and I usually review and enable it in like a day. Okay, next question. Does it work with the synthetic indices provided by Deriv? Yes, it works, but the thing is that most signal providers or channel providers are sending their signals for spot prices, prices of usually ETFs or CFDs. And prices can be different for the derivative markets, for options, for futures. So you need to somehow sync the prices. So you either follow a signal channel that specifically sends signals for these markets, or in the future versions of TTMT, we'll have to have some kind of price synchronizer, which then knows that, okay, if if there is a signal for asset A and then we want to execute on asset B, but then there is a price difference, we need to make sure that the prices will match. All right, next question. I absolutely love this tool. Thank you for sharing. This is not a question, but a good final thought for the stream. Thank you so much for you guys to be with me. Feel free to reach out to me on Telegram, and I can tell you that I'm really enjoying this journey and developing this tool for you, because I believe this tool will truly revolutionize the copy trading markets. All right, see you around in Telegram, and bye-bye.